Okay, so now we're gonna move from DC to Warner and DC to Marvel and Netflix way. So now we have to
Yeah.
talk about the long-awaited follow-up to Luke Cage.
Yeah. All right. So
Um,
Matthew, they finally write Danny Rand properly.
yes, yes, yes,
Holy shit.
yes. We are proud and privileged to say that they did Danny Rand right at long last.
You know?
They had an opportunity with Defenders. They try, but it just didn't come true. But thank God they got through here with this with in this season here of Luke Cage. So I'll just start things off, right? So I really enjoyed the first season. Now it was not perfect, mind you. The same criticism
Right.
you had, I more or less feel the same way, which is where you had a great villain in the form of Cottonmouth, who's played by Mahershala Ali, Oscar winner, and they more or less axed them off within, like, I think
Yeah.
it's like at the midpoint of the season. I think it was they just kind
Yeah.
of axed
Seven
them off,
episode.
right? And then we got this more or less this black exploitation Saturday morning cartoon character called Diamondback, and
Yeah. The
what?
brother.
Yeah, while I understood what they were trying to do, because once again, they try to go for this sort of neo black exploitation vibe here. It just really felt out of place with the neo noirish style of the series itself. Um, because yes,
Yeah.
it does
They
harken back
totally
to,
squandered. Yeah.
yeah, because it does harken back to black exploitation. That's the idea of the soul brother from Harlem, cleaning up the streets and all that kind of stuff. But when they
Yeah.
brought in Diamondback, it was like, oh well, now we have to do this kind of uber black version of Superman versus whoever it is. It just did not fit with the overall tone. But while it did not take me out of the first season entirely, because I still enjoyed the season for what it was, it still kind of left me a little bit disappointed. However, though, I like that, well, they did lay the foundation for two characters, well, one main villain and a side character, which we'll talk about later, by the names of Maria Dillard, who is played by
Yeah.
Alfred Woodard, and Hernan Alvarez, or Shades Alvarez, played by Tio Rossi. If you've seen, well, last time I saw him actually was in Sons of Anarchy, which is a show that people
Right.
should definitely check out, even though all your boy Charlie Hunnam in it. I know people don't like Charlie Hunnam, but
Charlie
still,
Humdrum.
yeah, but still, I rate Sons of Anarchy. But yeah, season
Yeah.
one was what it was. I enjoyed it for what it was, but also too, but the icing on the cake, though, I really loved about it was that music. My god damn,
Yeah.
Ali Shaheed
No,
Muhammad
listen.
of Tribe Called Quest, and one of my favorite producers in the game right
To
now, Adrian Young, joined forces. They brought this sort of 70s black exploitation, jazzy, neo soul,
yeah.
funk kind of music, and it just fit perfectly with the tone of this.
Yeah,
I
and
love the soundtrack for this.
they had so many good rap guest stars this season, Dread.
Yes.
Holy
Oh,
shit.
we gotta get to season two in a bit, but
Yeah.
yeah, season one had some great, some great songs, well, great rap songs interwoven into the soundtrack, and some rap performances. Because one of the big set pieces in the series is Harlem's Paradise, which is a
Right.
nightclub which was owned by Cutmouth, but now it's owned by Alfred Woodard's character. And
Yeah.
here basically
Man.
is where we, get the musical segments and whatnot, and they have these nice little montages going in between. But yeah, so we're just talking about season one again. So yeah, while it wasn't the best thing in the world, I still thoroughly enjoyed Luke Cage for
Right.
what it was, despite its missteps. But just quick
Yeah.
thoughts on season one before we get into season two.
Oh yeah, yeah. I wasn't the biggest fan, but mostly because they're killing out Cottonmouth. Like Cottonmouth was such a good villain, and they just decided to axe him for no good reason, and didn't really follow why. It kind of pissed him off a little bit. But nothing major for me. I was like, all right, well, cool. We go on. We still get a solid season. Diamondback was fell flat, unfortunately. I remember giving it a decent score in my review.
Yeah, we both did. We both did. Even though you were more kind of like, yeah, it was alright, but me, I still praised it for what it was. And also, oh yes,
Yeah.
and also before I forget, the episodes for season one were based off of gangsta songs, right? So in this case here with season two, what actually surprised me here, just touching on music for a bit, sorry, is that each episode is named after a song from Pete Rock and CL Smooth. So we have Straighten It
Yeah.
Out. We have Soul Brother #1, which is from their first album, Mecca and the Soul Brother.
Right.
Classic album. If you haven't listened to it,
Yeah.
check that shit out. We get other tracks, All Sold Out, which was like one of the first songs they ever put out. The Main Ingredient, which was the title track for their follow-up album, which was an album that I liked, but I didn't really love that much. I mean, it was good, but didn't really dig it that much. But anyway, but continuing on music here, how the first one more or less set things up in terms of just the jazz and the neo soul and hip hop here. Here we get blues, we get reggae, we get just different styles of music here.
Yeah, there were a ton of dance on this one. Great.
Yeah, right off the bat, I love the soundtrack for this. The inclusion of reggae in this caught me completely by surprise, because going in, I just saw the trailer like about this a couple days before going into this new season, because I didn't want to watch the trailers back then and then come up with a whole bunch of theories as to what to expect, and then I wouldn't enjoy the show for what it was when I finally saw it. So, yeah, the soundtrack for this is excellent though. There are classic reggae songs. You'll hear Bob Marley, you'll hear Barrington Levy. Stephen Marley is even there. He does a song as well. We also get to see old school hip hop legends. KRS-One, holy shit,
KRS-One, Jada Kiss
is there.
Rakim,
holy shit.
Yeah,
Rakim is there.
Yeah.
Even right down to Ali Shaheed and Adrian Young making an appearance. Slight spoiler in the final episode, But yeah, the music for this. Oh yes, and how could we forget Ghostface Killer? Because I mean, last season we had Method Man make an appearance. But yeah, Ghostface makes an appearance here. And by the way, there are 2 Wu-Tang Clan songs. I'll just say it's from the first album. When you hear them, you will lose your shit. If you're a Wu-Tang head, you will lose your shit when these songs come up. One thing I learned, the creators of these shows realize now, is something that I have known since I listened to the first Wu-Tang Clan album. I loved it. Their songs, or at least the songs in that album, make for great fight music, Joe.
Yeah.
Make for great fight music. And from the first Luke Cage to Defenders to I think they do something like that in Iron Fist. I can't remember. But from Luke Cage to Defenders to now, Dread is like, yes, it is true. Wu-Tang Clan songs from the first album make for great fight music. It works,
Yeah.
And just the 2 songs that were there, I was just like, I was just like in awe. I was just loving everything about it. But yeah, that's as far as music goes though. So yeah, we thoroughly love the score for this. As for the premise itself, right? So once again, it spans over 13 episodes, so we're not gonna get into full detail as to what the story is about. But more or less, this follows up right after the events of the Defenders, basically, where yes, now Luke Cage is a hero in Harlem now. He's still sticking to his guns, which is basically he has bulletproof skin. So yes, you're gonna have the idiots that are gonna fire shots. We can expect that. He's gonna punch. He doesn't kick that much, but he does the punching and all that kind of stuff. He uses his brute strength and whatnot, right? So while he is a hero amongst the people and whatnot, there's this funny little subplot, even though I wish I could explore it more, where it has this Harlem's Heroes app. Basically, it's like where Luke Cage is, and you can record him and just share it on social media. But just slight little detour, this little nitpick. I wish we could have gotten to understand who created the app. What was he? What was he? Who came up with the idea of an app? That kind of stuff.
Yeah, no, I
know you're not supposed to think about it, but still, it's like yeah, but you could have used this a little bit more, a little bit creatively. You know what I mean? That's my point. That's my point. They could have used it a little bit more creative, right? Instead of this little ha ha ha. I saw it on the app, man. That kind of stuff, right? But, meanwhile, in his personal life, things are good for the moment. But one thing that does pop up here is, his reliance on violence and brute force to solve problems. So this affects, his relationship with Rosario Dawson's character. I'm not going to say what happens there, Claire. And we do see his father, actually, for the first time, Reg E. Catty, the late, great Reg E. Catty, who was recently on House of Cards. So I love that he made that transition from House of Cards to the show here. Props to him. And to me, he was one of the standout characters in House of Cards here. But it is a shame that he did pass away. So rest in peace to him.
Yeah.
And he played his dad James, and he's a pastor actually.
Yeah.
And while he does, he does praise his son for what he's doing. At the same time, it's like, well, you still have to, more or less, not, because they more or less are estranged now for years, right? So it's more like they don't want to see each other. Well, at least the son doesn't want to see the father, but eventually they do kind of meet back up and work out their kinks and whatnot, right? But what they explore here in this season basically is just him always relying on violence to more or less solve problems, especially with the escalating level of crime in Harlem, right? So we are reintroduced to Maria Dilla's character, who's still running the nightclub, but she has big plans though. Now she wants to be the queen of Harlem, so she is doing her nefarious stuff, and Hernan Alvarez is the love interest here, so you get that whole kind of cougar stuff going on there basically.
Yeah.
But while all this is going on, we are introduced to a brand new villain by the name of John McIver, also known as Bushmaster. He is born in Brooklyn, but then he moved to Jamaica, and there is, basically he's seeking revenge against Maria because of some deep-rooted stuff that happened to him in the past, right? And his skill set basically is that he has, not so much super strength, but he can fight, and he has healing capabilities as well, but not as powerful or as potent as Luke Cage. And also he has this weakness basically where he is reliant on this herb called Nightshade, but if he uses too much of it, it affects his organs and whatnot. So he does... Yeah, basically
Jamaican super soldier serum.
Yes. So it does weaken him. But because this man just has a fire inside of him, because he is just so adamant and just wiping out Mariah and everything that she stands for. It's just like, so he is more or less ends up running this Jamaican gang called the Stylers, and just them really tracking down Mariah and trying to kill her. So it's just basically these two villains basically going back and forth, and then, of course, with Luke and just his personal stuff, him trying to deal with his own personal rage, his own insecurities, the way how people perceive him, because, he doesn't want to be, like, people kind of look at him as some kind of king or savior, but he just doesn't see himself like that. He just wants to do the right thing. But it's to the point that he knows he has to go far enough. Like, he will have to break legs and whatnot to ensure that there is peace in Harlem. But there are people out there that saying that, is this too much, that kind of stuff. Are you going too far? Are you being too angry here? Are you being too aggressive? And I'll stop right here, right? So, let's talk about the good. Let's talk about the great here. So the stuff that we were talking about, basically, where they kind of asked the best villain in the show midway into the first season. Fortunately, here with season 2, they don't do that. They carry out Bushmaster and Maria's arcs throughout the entirety of the show. More Mariah than Bushmaster, because this is more Mariah's story, and Bushmaster is just the obstacle.
Right, it's her arc. To me, this was her series.
Yeah. And they just play it out over 13 episodes, and it works near perfect in my opinion. But I'll say why I say near perfect in a bit. Just the character growth with both of these characters, especially Bushmaster, because I was just liking this guy being this like real badass villain, this I'll go kill you, that kind of stuff. I was real liking that about him. But then it started to go deeper in. I like how you got to see his relationship to other Jamaicans in the area, and also to one great episode, where you got to see a few flashbacks to his past in Jamaica, and then just the stuff that he went through as a child was just like, wow.
Yeah, pretty dark and sad.
Pretty dark and sad, but no wonder you kind of rooted for the guy, but yes, it's because he has this uncontrollable rage. You know what I mean? It's almost like I can't really side with you that much. Same thing goes for Mariah, who comes and I would say right off the bat,
really sad arc.
Yeah, Alfred Woodard though. She goes above and beyond the Call of Duty to just present this character, and to me, this is one of the most complex villains that I've seen in TV in quite some time.
I make the joke where, with my friends watching this, is like, Mariah Dillard over Thanos, right?
Well, she has more complexity than Thanos. she
You
has
know,
a lot going on in her life. Because for one
I
thing,
thought she was one of the strongest villains in a long time. Probably one of the
yeah.
better MCU villains, in my opinion.
Because for one thing, right? There are moments where you will genuinely hate on her. There are
Right.
moments where you will love to hate her, right? And then there are moments where you feel sorry for her. Then there's moments that you just pity her. But it's just like, and her character is so incredibly toxic. But then when you learn about the stuff in her past and how she was
Right.
looked down upon, it's almost like
With the
she just had
daughter.
to be toxic with everybody. And then, well, yes, Mariah's illegitimate daughter, Matilda Johnson, who's played by the
Right.
exquisitely looking Gabrielle Dennis. And
Yeah.
just there's one scene, we're not gonna say where it happens, one episode where she reveals the truth about their relationship, and it's just
Yeah.
such a gut wrenching scene, but especially
Yeah.
the reaction from Tilda, but just and also from just Mariah, sorry, just just revealing, just stripping away all the layers and just really laying everything out. Though it's just such an incredibly powerful scene. But yeah, hands down, she is one of the best, one of the most complex villains we have in the MCU or MCTV, EU, wherever it is, thus far. Though, because
Right.
yeah, like I say, there are moments where you will like her, where you will hate her, where you can kind of relate to her and you feel sorry for her. But because she's so toxic inside, and then she just takes it out on everybody. So like every relationship that she ends up with, when she realizes that she's being backed into a corner, she would just kind of react in this toxic way. So she just kind of
Yeah.
destroys friendships. She just burns bridges like immediately, like almost immediately actually. And then every once in a while, she will use someone to get what she wants. So in this case, she kind of uses Hernan. So there is this kind of relationship going on. But in my head, I was telling myself, okay, I know that
Right.
Hernan
That ain't
wants to
lasting.
be, yeah, I know it's not lasting. But I was wondering if he played her, but more or less is the other way around. But in his
Yeah.
case, he wants to he wants to rule with her, if not by himself, right? Because he understands the influence that she has over Harlem in a sense, right? And there are scenes where you see her try to do good, where she tries to do better, tries to relate to other people, but still it just always kind of dials back to, all right, I have to survive because this is the life that I live. And okay,
Right.
you all want me to be evil, fine, I'm gonna be evil. So it is this kind of self-destruction that she has. It just takes it out on everybody. So yeah, I thoroughly loved how her character developed here. Alfred Woodard, like I say, she just went above and beyond the Call of Duty. I like how she
Yeah.
made
It's a
her
goddamn
character
national treasure.
her own. So
Yeah.
yes, you will watch the acting, and there's some moments where it's like, okay, maybe she just being a little theatrical here, maybe she'll be a little hammy here,
No. No.
but
I think it's very
because
melodramatic. Eh?
yeah, but because it's her acting, you could tell it's just how she is projected this character, and not, oh well, I'm supposed to talk this way because I'm the evil villain here. No, she acts the way how she feels, so it comes up more genuine than I must look and talk threatening. She more comes off more distraught than anything. Like when she's backed
Right.
against the wall, she always comes off like, you're doing this to men, or you don't understand what I went through, and she comes off
Right.
like that, and like that distraught person at her age, so it feels more relatable, more believable, I should say. Also, Luke Cage's arc, I really thoroughly enjoyed that. I loved how where I was expecting it too, where it's like, well, you could only be a
Yeah.
hero for so long, and you could only beat people up
Yeah.
for so long. But what if there's a what if there's a consequences to that? So there are moments where he has to realize that he can't just solve everything with just throwing people through windows and whatnot. He has to think things
Yeah.
out. And there's a great episode, although at first I was asking myself, all right, I wonder if they're gonna play this duo more like or for the rest of the show, but I'm glad that they didn't. Where we had the Power Man and Iron Fist team up, man. They had the full episode
Right.
together.
Episode 10.
And yeah, episode 10, and it was fun. I enjoyed it, even though there
Yeah.
were some
Great.
some really melodramatic moments, but the scenes with the two of them together, I love that. I love that we got to see a real glimpse of this duo together instead of this
Heroes
bickering
for hire.
couple
Yeah.
that we got in Defenders, basically. And I thought that
Right.
Danny Rand, I mean, performance-wise, he was great. He really stepped his game up, and he really felt like there
Yeah.
was a purpose to him. It wasn't just, hey, I just happened to stumble onto you. They brought in his character
Right.
reasonably enough, logically enough, and I love where he kind of sits Luke down and talks to him and is like, well, you have to find your center and you have to find the peace inside of you, because it does tie back to what's going on with his character arc. And before we get to your thoughts, Ricardo, I just had to see the ending, that final episode, boy.
Yeah, Joe.
Where his character reaches right now caught me completely by surprise. But all we'll see, we may end up spoiling it eventually, is that they just took the perfect reference from one of the greatest movies of all time. They even used a little visual reference it, which I felt was a little on the nose, but I was like, I see what you all did there. If they ended the show like that, I'd have been like, okay, you should have tightened that up. But because it ended like that, I was like, okay, I'll let that slide. But the way...
Well, the reason I didn't mind it... The reason I didn't mind it is because of Reggie Catty's text and the ending with that now. So I was like, alright, it's fine.
Yeah, no, well, I'll talk about before we get to the performance that ends of the show. Right? Right.
This is Luke Corleone.
Yeah, so, right, exactly. This is Luke Corleone thing. So, yeah, we have to spoil it. Yeah. So, it does reference the Godfather here, and in quite a smart, intelligent way. Because imagine this guy who's called himself the hero of Harlem, or people call him that, now ends up being in the position of being king. So now it's like one of his friends, he has this like really hilarious little subplot here where he's selling unofficial Luke Cage merch, where you have props to the Run DMC and Ice Cube references in his shirts. Those get points. Those get real points, right? He called him a crime boss though, like, you know what I mean? They call him Luke Trump. And at first I was like, wait, maybe you kind of stretching things out. You kind of misinterpreting what's going on there. But then when you see the final shot, it's like, oh, now I see it. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You know, to have this power, to have this control now. But what's gonna happen next? You know what I mean? And it's just the groundwork that they lay down for the next season. There, I was just in amazement, but I was just like, holy crap!
It was the last point where he said tell Claire go home. I was like, damn, he's serious, bro.
I was like, because I was hoping, I wanted to see her come back, and I thought they would have like some kind of final talk together. But when he says that line, though, I was like, wow.
Like brutal.
You know, because it's like you understand it from his perspective. Is the sacrifice you have to make that? And I was thinking Dark Knight to an extent, where you become a hero so much in a way, that kind of stuff. But because he had to sacrifice this to be where he needs to be in order to ensure peace in Harlem, he didn't. But just the groundwork that they lay for the next season here is like, well, that's going to backfire soon enough because of the quote-unquote alliances that he's made, or at least the peace that he's made at the moment, you know what I mean? It's going to backfire soon enough. So before I get to my gripes, because I have a couple of gripes with it, Ricardo, your thoughts on the great of season 2?
Yeah, this was a huge improvement over season 1. Like, holy shit. This completely catch me off guard. I really didn't expect this to be so good. I was like, oh, we gained all of this for this season? And it is admittedly very melodramatic, but that was not a problem at all. It totally worked and fit. Because one of the big problems I have with some of the Netflix stuff is it's a little too serious and takes itself way too seriously, especially...
Jessica Jones, anyone?
Right. But so a lot of that I didn't really care for going forward. But with Luke Cage, to me, they strike the perfect tone with us, though.
Yeah.
In terms of like how serious you should take it, the corny and hokey dialogue.
Yeah,
that's not a problem for this.
About it too. Like there's a point.
Very self-aware.
He says, well, yeah, this is my show. And we forgot to mention too, Mercedes Knight, you know, and her character arc as well too. So I like also that they didn't concentrate on her having this bionic arm, and the way how they brought it up too was very smooth. It didn't just come out of nowhere. It worked itself into the narrative quite smoothly. But I like that it was not just about her being this bionic woman suddenly. It's about her being on the police force. Her, trying to play, play with the rules and all that kind of stuff now. But continue.
Yeah. And for me, I didn't expect this to be so good. Again, it's played very, very silly in many ways in terms of the dialogue. It's kind of hokey.
It is.
That's within the context of the story, because it totally works now. With the tone and is, again, in my opinion, next to perfect balance when it comes to how to deal with this material now. Yeah. But that's again, I don't like when you do the serious business thing and you have this stubbornness going forward now.
Yeah, and the neo-noir / blaxploitation vibe, that's how you could get away with the dialogue and just the tone of it. It works. It's a nice balance,
Right.
Yeah.
And for me, I just thoroughly enjoyed this. And again, some of the highlights, of course, episode 10 with Danny Rand. I didn't expect him to come in and they wrote his character. Like, wow, they actually write the character. They actually have the choreography on point with him.
Oh
like,
yes.
They actually get everything
little,
right with him, in my opinion.
There was a nice shot basically where you see the two of them squaring off, a nice wide
Yeah.
shot, and it looks like it is Finn Jones doing his movements. No, well, him and
Yeah.
Mike Coulter doing the moves. I was like, wood,
Yeah.
okay, wood.
Yeah.
Not
They
no
look great
choppy
as
editing
well.
and whatnot. Yeah.
Nah. Is it? Go ahead.
Yeah, I forgot to mention too, Colleen Wing makes an appearance. I thought that was cool.
Small appearance,
yeah,
right,
small appearance, one episode, nice as well. But your thoughts on Bushmaster though? Because I thought that he stood out as this intimidating
fantastic villain though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he had so
I like
much
the fact that they
charisma.
get they get a lot of Jamaican patois on point. Like usually that's something they'll fuck up in movies like badly.
Yeah.
This wasn't perfect, but it's still pretty good. And I ain't gonna pretend to be some expert on Jamaican patois or anything like that, but it sounds very good from what I know about Jamaican patois.
Yeah.
A couple of the people felt like especially that first guy that Bushmaster killed. He felt like a Trini speaking Jamaican accent.
Right.
Or it kind of sound like a uptown trying to speak downtown Jamaican kind of thing.
Right.
I didn't hate any of that. It had all the great cultural Caribbean diaspora stuff. All that was fine. What else?
Oh, and by the way,
I like the name.
Yeah.
I like the name Bushmaster. Where they get it from? Is the rum company? Great.
Yes.
Pretty awesome.
Another thing I like too, the
fighting style was awesome.
Yes. That flash kick that man give Luke Cage. God damn. Wow. I literally had that scene on repeat, like pow, 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 like jeez, boy. But yeah, the fight choreography gets points, especially when Bushmaster fighting when he squares off against Luke Cage, because it's strength versus speed, and you see it work. I like how John focuses on the feet a lot. He always targets the legs. He always targets Luke Cage's arms because because he uses arms a lot. He uses legs. He doesn't use his leg that much. So it does play out logically the way how these two characters, how you expect these two characters to fight though. I love
should
that.
Fight each other. Yeah.
So there's a lot of thought and put into this. Oh, we forgot to mention too, Foggy Nelson makes an appearance as well.
Right, so, with the lawyer thing, which was great. I like that. That's funny. Because they had a great line. It was like, wait, is that Ghostface Killer? I mean, he was in the club. That's funny.
Yeah. I was like, Method Man did a song about me. That was a nice moment.
Right.
As far as gripes though, and these are minor. Oh, how can we forget Reg E. Catty, by the way, who plays Luke Cage's father.
Their relationship was excellent in my opinion.
I love that. He brought
what
this
they did
nice moral center to things. He didn't come off as this hokey preacher who just spouts nothing but the good book and whatnot. He is a real person as well. He does slip up every once in a while. He is human and he acknowledges that. I love how he was able to talk to his son like that and be like, well, you have to think about that kind of stuff. So I love that.
You see,
and just the
those about Alfred Wood, it was good.
Yes. The little conversation scene that they have in the middle of the middle of the season. I thought that was great as well. And the rest in peace to him at the very end, because I actually forgot that he died, I just made things feel a lot more emotional, As far as gripes go, well, this has just always been a problem with me with Luke Cage though. Well, sorry, with these Marvel Netflix shows. The 13 episode runtime.
Yes, I was about to mention that.
You have to
it wasn't as extreme as let's say with Punisher, because Punisher I thought deserved 8 episodes.
Yes, this
I'll say right. This I'll probably trim down to about 10.
I would say so, yes, because the dramatic moments, there are lots of dramatic moments, and I'm not saying that they are repetitive in any way, even though certain characters do meet up again and more or less follow up on things that happened before, what they were talking about before, but it does have it does suffer from piece of disuse once again, because you have to stretch things out for so long, and then because of the runtime of these episodes being like about close to an hour basically. But what I will give credit for is that they were able to hold my interest, especially in terms of the villains. How they were able to stretch their arcs throughout the 13 episodes. That's amazing, but still I would confess that they really, the whole 13 episode run, I'm not saying they should just kind of just jump and just do things new because the fans demand it, but still I would admit they could have just trimmed this down to like a 10 episodes, you know what I mean? Still give us a great moment still, and you're not diluting the drama or anything like that, but still just kind of tighten the pacing just a little bit, you know. So
Right.
that's like my one gripe that I have with it, you know, the pacing and just two things, the pacing and just the 13 episode run. But once again, because they were able to hold my interest in terms of not just the hero and the side characters, well, mainly Mercedes as well, but with Bushmaster and especially Maria Dillard, you know, and you know her daughter as well too. I thought she had a decent enough arc as well, and just how it ends here, where she could become
another
an antagonist,
another problem
in the third season, which was like, wow, okay, I like that, yeah. So I mean, not more we could say, but we thoroughly enjoyed the season.
Yeah, then I did catch him off guard because I really thought it would be normal. I didn't think they'd do much with it. But they do everything they had to do.
Yeah, like it was gonna be just the same familiar stuff, you know, the music, the light, and the stuff like that. But everything just like you get the stuff that you love about it, for like the music, the cinematography, which still is on point. Like I love the colors that they use here, you know, the kind of gold and orange and browns and all that kind of stuff. The acting is still on point. You know, everybody had their rules. You know, my quota is Luke Cage, you know, and all that good stuff. But just the complexity of these characters, especially Mariah and Bushmaster. You know, I love how they just dug in deep into these characters. They were just thugs who just, you know, beat people up or grab guns. You know, there was more to them than that. And I just love how they set up this season 3 where, I mean, Luke is in this position that I honestly did not see coming a mile away, but now I want to know what's going to happen next. Is he going to be a villain in a way or not? I'm not sure if they're going to play the whole Godfather Part 2 angle, but I'm just so excited to see what they do next. So, rating-wise, I'll give this a decent 4 out of 5, man. This is... I would say as far as pretty high, as seasons 2 go with Marvel Netflix shows, this is one of the best, man, hands down, one of the best, probably the best.
Yeah, for me, I put it real high.
Yeah, this is the best because it's probably only.
It's probably only Daredevil season 1 and Jessica Jones season 1 that I'll probably put above this.
But talk about
definitely better than
season 2s. Yeah, this one stepped up.
I'll put it higher than all the season 2s if I think about it.
Yeah, well, that was also actually, yeah. So, what was your rating?
I had to get us a real high score more and more think about it, but yeah, get us like an 8 out of 10. It was really well done. Yeah. I didn't expect it to be just so like character driven and so deep with the character lore, and especially the two villains. You already get two great villains going forward with Bushmaster and Dillard. And they made it work with the concept of violence, how she can't escape violence and try and clean herself up. They make all of that work with I don't want to get into the spoilers, but it's a little borderline Me Too movement moment with her.
Yeah.
And a lot of that just really works when you think about it, Judd. I just thought it was great. She's one of the better characters I've come along in the Marvel universe in a long time.
Yeah,
this was a home run for me.
Props to Alfred Woodard, but she just went there. She dug in deep to deliver this great character, but so well done.
Yeah.
And we even forgot to mention Shades as well too. I thought that Shades' character
that's solid arc as well.
Solid as well. Even a nice little thing with one of his comrades in arms, basically, and how that turns out as well, and just the relationship between him and Mariah, which I felt was real cougarish, but more to the point, like he knows more than she does, or at least he assumes that he knows, so he just played her because he wants to, like I say, either rule alongside her, or rule over her, that kind of thing. But she like had the heads up though, and I was like, oh wow, okay,
yeah. But they made I find they made a lot of that work, and overall, I just thoroughly enjoyed this. This is a really good direction for this. Very, very happy with all of this. What they did with this.
Yes.
Really happy. I didn't expect it to be so well done.
Yeah. Now we could be praising this thing for the rest of this episode, boy, but now we have to get the last things last way. Now we have to talk about the Fallen Kingdom. Or should I say the Fallen franchise, boy? That was
I'm getting into this bullshit.
Jurassic Park. Now you start off.
Yeah, everything, This is it. This I got to straight up start. This is trash, and
not our trash. Not our trash.
That's the thing. It's definitely not our trash, and it could be someone's trash, but I don't want to be that person.
Boy, so before
this was a mess.
Before we get to the fall of Jurassic Park, let's talk about let's talk briefly, of course, about the movie that started all. 1993's Jurassic Park. It actually came out, in June of 1993. I was planning to do a retrospect reviews of that, but I figured because we're going to talk about Fallen Kingdom anyway, might as well mention it.
Yeah.
So yes, 25 years ago, Steven
Yeah.
Spielberg, blew everyone's minds by showing us these almost photorealistic dinosaurs and giving us this
Yeah.
great narrative, which had a lot of great elements in it. So there was the wonder and amazement of seeing dinosaurs for the first time on big screen. In a sense, I mean, we're not talking about like those 60s or 50s dinosaur movies. We're not talking about that. We talk about like industrial light and magic dinosaurs, basically, right? We had great characters, whether it was Sam Neill or Jeff Goldblum and whatnot. We had characters that we cared about. They combined the thrills. Cause we had like that horrific moment, but just really nail biting moments. But they blended with a lot of adventure, a lot of heart, a lot of fun. I mean, it is one of the best summer blockbusters of all time. And while I wouldn't say it's one of the greatest movies of all time, I would say it
Right.
is one of the best movies Steven Spielberg has ever made in his life, right? Hands down, no denying that, right? And I would even defend the sequel, The Lost World, because I felt that it was a nice
Right.
progression. I'll talk about that word. Progression from the first one is like, what if these creatures were end up well, the park thing didn't work out. So what if somehow, some way they ended up in our world? What would happen?
Right.
The chaos that would happen. And it made, while the sequel wasn't as great as the first one, I do give
Yeah.
credit for it being darker and bloodier actually, because there's a
Right.
considerable amount of gore in this one, which I praise actually. Because I mean, it's dinosaurs in the real world. Of course, they gotta have blood in it. You know what I mean? You gotta kind of step your game up a little bit, right? And yeah, while I wouldn't say it's one of the memorable sequels, I do still rate. I do read this one as one of the better Jurassic Park movies. And then we had the forgettable Jurassic Park 3. Forgettable to
Yeah,
the
that was
point
a
that
mess.
I just saw it on cable. I saw it on Stars because I didn't bother to watch it on cinema. 'Cause I was like, why are we doing a 3? And then I
Yeah.
saw it, and it was like 92 minutes long. It's like, why this movie so short? But then again, I didn't
Yeah.
really care for it, whatever. So I thought that was it. I thought that was done. And then
Yeah.
afterwards, we got the 3D re-release of Jurassic Park, and I was like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
Saw it. It was in 3D, nice, whatever. It's the same movie, whatever. But then in 2015, and this was actually around about a couple weeks before we even did our first episode of Bears Beats and Bailey, Jurassic World came out, right?
You're right.
And looking at it again, because I didn't look at it, I didn't watch it until quite recently, to prepare for Fallen Kingdom.
Right.
My thoughts on it are still the same. It is a B movie, true and true. Right down to
Yeah.
the whole, we're going to take raptors and we're going to put them in the military and we're going to use them to find terrorists. That
Yeah.
is just so incredibly dumb. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, because it's this kind of schlocky B movie, sci-fi movie of the week, glossed over in Hollywood big budgetness, I let that slide because it was fun. It was like a return to form. It's more, yes, and you do play the whole nostalgia berries thing a lot. A lot of callbacks, some of which were unnecessary, some of which is, oh, that's kind of clever. But still, it was like, okay, we doing this thing again. I like the little, although it wasn't really subtle at all, the commercialization of the park itself, the product
Right.
placement from Starbucks to this, to that, all that kind of stuff. I thought that was like clever. Like, okay, well, if Jurassic Park was to be redone in 2015, this is exactly how it would play out. Even right down to them creating this new creature, you know what I mean? Them creating this Indominus Rex because, bigger is better. We need more teeth, as one of the characters say. More teeth, right? And then, of course, just things going out of, just shit going out of control and what you'd expect from a Jurassic Park movie. There were criticism made, for one thing, for, one of the biggest jokes, of course, being Bryce Dallas Howard, her running in high heels, from
Yeah.
Dinosaurs. That was funny. Also, as we talked about Supergirl earlier, Katie McGrath's death scene, though. Remember, some people were
Right.
kind of offended by it, because for one thing, this is the first instance of a female dying in a Jurassic Park movie, which was like, wait, really? Okay, I didn't know that. But I thought that Dead Sea was kind of badass too. I mean, although I would not the one that would say, oh, it went too far, it's misogynistic, and well, I don't care, right?
Right.
But yeah, I mean, overall, Jurassic World was what it was. It was disposable, but it's still that dumb summer fun and excitement, entertainment that you can expect anyway. You know, it was better than
Right.
Jurassic Park 3 by far. But it couldn't reach that level that Spielberg did with the first two movies. But then again, it kind of didn't need to. I mean, it was trying to do its own thing. I mean, Chris Pratt was there; he did what he had to do. But still, it was what it was. I don't hate it. But your quick thoughts on just the franchise leading up to Jurassic and Jurassic World before we get into Fallen Kingdom. Your thoughts on the franchise.
Yeah, for me, it was a franchise that should have died, but I get why it exists. And look, it ended up made a ton of cash anyway, so it's like
Especially
whatever.
Jurassic World. That made a ton of
right.
money. Ton of money.
I am a big fan of the original. I was a huge dinosaur nerd back in the days, so that just like fallen under my purview, and it was right up my alley when it came out. Then the sequel sucked for me, hated it. But then they decided to do this whole part 3, which was a straight up retarded and made no sense.
Boy.
Yeah. And then when Jurassic World came out, I was like, well, whatever, it's fine. Like, it's kind of what the original sequel should have been anyway. So I didn't really hate it. But I didn't write home more about it either. It's like, well, whatever, it's just fine. And then this nonsense came out. This new one. So I was like, I don't know, what was the point of this?
So, Ricardo, you just want to just give us a brief rundown about
Alright,
Kingdom?
so basically the island blowing up.
Yep.
They had to go and rescue.
Because there's a volcano that just suddenly is active because movie, right? So, yeah.
Yeah. So it's they decide to, how to go and rescue the animals, but it was helped out by this corporation ran by James Cromwell's son. I'm not too sure, or James Cromwell himself. And then they had to basically learn that, the reason why they want to help out the dinosaurs because they want to sell them, right, for make money. That's pretty much it. But the idea is that, they can they have a big, debate about whether or not they're gonna free the animals in the first place. Because a big debate is that, they wasn't supposed to be alive anyway. That's the general argument. So it had a whole debate about that.
Right.
That's pretty much the movie. It's just it's our little girl who's a clone of somebody, which is really stupid.
Yeah, yes, it is. Yeah. So we should have mentioned this earlier, but to talk about this show. We had to get into spoilers here. We have to get into spoilers. So my thoughts on it. I'll start off, right. So started off pretty good. Started off pretty interesting, right. I like the idea.
Yeah.
That the Jurassic World was a terrible idea. Park shut down. The island's pretty much isolated except for these dinosaurs that's still all over the place. The T-Rex, the raptors, and all that stuff. Well, raptor, sorry, blue, because the other raptors that Chris Pratt was more or less raising got wiped out by the Indominus Rex. And then we still had that one that was in the pool. Shamu, whatever it is, right? that's still there. So, it's interesting that, this island that you all set up, have this volcano and now it's active. So now you have to get these dinosaurs out and put them on another island, right? Okay, understood.
Right.
Kind of cool idea. But in the trailer itself, well, at least I saw the first trailer. I didn't watch the second one until afterwards. I'll talk about that second trailer in a bit, right? I was under the impression that, the centerpiece of the movie was going to be the volcano, right? And them trying to escape and do all that good stuff that you saw in the trailer, which is spoiled, unfortunately, right? That marketing for this show is terrible, by the way. I just had to say that right off the bat. But the thing is, this moment comes up in the first act, though. It's more or less like the end of the first act, basically. And that kind of caught me surprised. I was like, okay, we're doing this thing? No, alright, well, okay. So through some circumstances, Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard's characters are back. They bring in these two unnecessary characters, but they more or less work with Bryce because she's doing this whole free the dinosaurs campaign kind of stuff there, because they're all like, well, the dinosaurs should stay on the island, and when the volcano erupts, they should die. Because we can't. Why save them? There was a reason why Mother Nature wiped them out in the first place. which is a fair enough argument, right? I like the moment where Jeff Goldblum comes in and he's speaking to Congress, whatever it is. I talk about pretty much the same thing they say in the first one. It's a mistake. We should not do this. We should not
bring them back,
with nature. Blah 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 blah. Right? Okay.
Yeah, I got all of that right.
And right, so the first right, so first act happens, volcano erupt, blah 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 blah. Everything that we saw in the trailer. And then I tell myself, okay, so where the story gonna go next? And I will give credit at the moment where credit is due. I will give credit to the more or less Colin Trevorrow.
He directed the first one.
So he directed the first one, right? So he co-wrote the script here, and the director this time is J. Bayona, who directed two movies that I still want to see, which is A Monster Calls and The Orphanage. Still have to see those shows. I don't know why I'm sticking on that, but anyway. So more or less, I'll give him credit for moving away from the park cliche and the island cliche. Why not? Why we just keep resurrecting the same Jurassic Park concept again and again and again? These dinosaurs on the island thing again and again and again. Let's try something different. So like, okay, they do it a little bit different here. All right. But in my head, I tell myself, okay, they're gonna try to move the dinosaurs to the next island, and then we have the cliche bad guys who just want to kill them out. So we have some infighting going on, and then it's gonna end where the heroes win, and the dinosaurs are free on this new island. But instead, they bring them to the estate of James Cromwell's character, and then auctions them off.
Right.
The fuck?
Stupid.
What? And then here's the ironic part about it. In the second trailer that came out, that stuff was there. It was pretty much, they kind of hinted it, but the major stuff, just seeing the dinosaurs in cages and whatnot. And then, of course, there's this subplot with a new Indominus Rex, which
Raptor.
More Raptor. Oh, sorry, well, Raptor. More Raptor than Rex, actually. Which is funny because the last dinosaur had Raptor in him, but whatever. Because, raptors are so incredibly smart and blah, blah, blah. So I didn't think about that the first time. I don't know. Right? So, when they reached that moment with the auction trade, I was like... And then they had all these, like, cliche evil millionaires and rich people, bidding on this stuff there. And, yes, 10 million, I want 50 million, all that kind of stuff. But they never stopped to say what they're going to do with these creatures. What are they going to do? They're going to try and
totally logical.
Make their own. They're going to hunt them down. What's the point? What? Right. So, first gripe that I have with the movie, right? All right, so let me just get the good stuff out of the way. The directing is competent enough. J. Bayona clearly knows his way around horror, so there are some nice little visual horror stuff in it. So props to that, right?
No, but they had great shots in it as well. Like they had this great shot with the Brontosaurus when they was leaving the island. I love that.
Yeah, or the Brachiosaurus, whatever it is you want to call it. Yeah, great shots. They kind of downplay on the references, but then unfortunately they kind of bring it back up again because yes, there are moments which are like visual callbacks to not just the first movie but to other movies as well, like the Lost World and Jurassic Park 3, right? So that's right. And then as far as acting goes, I mean, Chris Pratt is doing his thing, Bryce Dallas Howard doing her thing, but I mean, they are less. It's like one of the dimensions out of them, like they were like more or less 2.5 dimensional characters in the first one, but now it just go to 2 or 1.5.
That's the problem.
I just didn't care for these characters at all. They were just there serving a function, but it's like, why should I care? I know you're gonna
in the first one for me. In the first one for me, it was like, well, everything was kind of tongue in cheek. So that's why I didn't really hate that first one all that much, right? Because
Chris Pratt's character, y'all really doing this, y'all really want to do this, like almost like the self-awareness, like, okay, 3 movies in and you're still doing this, so it worked. Right. And then with Bryce's character, where it's about the money and bringing in, the people and whatnot, so, that kind of worked there, the commercialization of this Jurassic Park thing. So yeah, you're right. But here it's just like, well, they're just there to serve a purpose, just there to do stuff, but I didn't really care for them as much. Same thing I could say for like the 2 side characters. They were pointless and I didn't care about them. SGW character and this fellow who like just scared at everything. Like when he was in the plane to go to the island, he was scared. So
Right.
of course the big question is why you bring him there for? What, to have him scream like a
Right.
girl and it's not funny? So what's the point? I don't know.
Yeah, a lot of it. Then I don't really care about any of those characters because it was like, well, they was ultimately inconsequential. I suppose they had some purpose and they had a couple moments that was kind of relevant, but overall it's like, well, yeah, you don't really need to be here anyway.
Yeah.
Who cares?
So so two big major flaws that I have with the show, right? One of these flaws a lot of critics will talk about, right? Which is the script. This script
Right, no, it's a
is
mess.
terrible. It's terrible.
Yeah.
Now, once again, I give credit where credit's due. Trying new things out, trying new concepts, but not
Yeah.
only do they not focus on one or two particular ones, or they don't go in depth into them. So they'll try this one out, but they never go deep into it. But they just execute these things so sloppily, boy, so sloppy. Like the whole thing about bringing these creatures into this house for this auction thing, sloppy. Now I understand you want to try something new. Let's try this whole gothic horror thing. And on the subject of gothic horror, I saw one of the first early reviews kind of said that they were going for gothic horror. I was telling myself, it's Jurassic World. How are they going to do that? And it's just basically
Right.
dinosaurs running amok in a mansion, and it's shadowy, and it's rainy
Right.
outside, so it's thunder and lightning. That's it basically. But
Yeah.
interesting concept. Okay, all right, but the execution though was just terrible, terrible. I'll talk about some scenes later on, right? So the other thing that a lot of the one thing that I know a lot of critics haven't mentioned yet is the conveniences of the of this show, way. Just a lot of moments that happen that just so convenient.
Yeah, it's total nonsense.
Case in point, the volcano scene, right? You saw it in the ad, the characters running down the hill, blah blah blah, right? So remember from the last movie with Bryce's nephews, right? Where they were in the hamster ball and then the Indominus Rex attacks and then they had to get themselves out of it, which was a great scene, by the way. Great scene, right? And then they managed to escape and then they run to, deeper into they jump off they jump off a cliff basically. I think it's some waterfall or some kind of crap like that. I think they just jump off, right? Cool. So conveniently, when these characters are running in Fallen Kingdom, they happen to run into the same hamster ball that was there. So convenient. It was just right there. Just at the moment when they needed it, right?
Yeah, well.
And then even going further, Chris Pratt refusing to go inside the hamster ball. Like they were more like I know I saw the trailer, but I was telling myself, well, dude, why you not going inside it? Like what? So we can have a shot of you trying to outrun volcanic fumes and
ash
and whatnot. So there's a scene when the
they shouldn't be able to breathe.
Goes underwater, right? And he's trying to get them out, and then the man swim back up, and then he come back, and then fortunately gets them out. So that's the reason why you all had him outside of the ball. Like it would have been a much more intense moment if he was inside the ball and there were cracks and then it was flooding from the inside. Now that would have made for a very intense moment because you have your three heroes, well in this case three heroes here, trying to escape. How do they get out? No, you have Mr. Hero outside doing everything, so he's more or less the traffic cop now, so he guiding everything. It's like, oh, stampeding dinosaurs, y'all go here, hamster ball, you go over there, I'm gonna navigate everything. And this is the way how they use his character. Like, he just shows up at just the right time to solve every situation. He just figures out every single thing at just the right time. Things happen at just the right moment. And yes, you do have the Deus Ex Machina T-Rex that shows up at just the right time to fight off the Indominus raptor basically.
Yeah,
I don't know. It just took me out of the show. It's just things happening at just the right time. Somebody's in danger. Something happens at just the right time to save them. So there's little to no tension here now. And then talk about tension, right? Another thing that took me out. Really, really terrible decisions made by characters. By the girl that you mentioned, right? The girl that was just there without too sure what she was about, right? So another convenience here, right? I love where she goes into the basement and then she sees the dinosaur for the first time, and then she learned that the guy that taking care of her basically want to kill off James Cromwell's character and more or less run the show and then sell off the dinosaurs and blah blah blah, right? I love
Right.
how when she comes to the MacBook, right? Well, the computer itself, and she sees the video of Chris Pratt playing with the Raptors, right? And she watched it.
Yeah.
I love when the bad
Chris
guy
Pratt watching it at the same time.
and BD Wong's character. Why is BD Wong in this movie? By the way, this is like
But he had to be there.
yeah, but I was hoping that he would have died, and then spoil it, he doesn't die. I was just like, oh god, we need to see this
Nah, he
guy
got it.
again. Just like, no, but you can't do this. You're tampering with forces that you can't control, and you know you can't. We designed it in such a way to make it look. And he was more whiny in this one, Jay. Like, come on, man, Jay. Like, give him something else to do instead of complaining about what y'all did. Like, y'all made the mistake. Stop trying to double back, try to dial back and complain about stuff that y'all did, you know what I mean? But anyway, but I love when the moment when they actually come down the flight of stairs where conveniently the video stops. No audio, no video, nothing playing. And the moment when they come downstairs, it just stops just like that. So the girl can run off and hide.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, she doesn't pause the video, The video just stops. Everything just stops at the moment they come down the flight of stairs, right? That was, once again, convenient. But one of the biggest moments, though, right? And once again, problem with the movie. Great setup, Well, they have great setups, great, interesting ideas, right? But then the execution happens and it just goes downhill. So you have the big bad raptor, right? On top the mansion. The roof.
Yeah.
Screaming, roaring, something like that. Great moment, right? And then he sneaks inside to the room, right? So this girl, the same girl, genius, right? Smart idea. Decides to jimmy the window, and it just so happens to be her bedroom, right?
Right.
Instantly you would think, right? Big bad dinosaur chasing you, right? You can either do one or two things. You could run, but then have a whole bunch of people running around the place again, killed by other dinosaurs or whatnot, right? But you're in your bedroom, right? Hide underneath the bed. No.
Yeah, she got in the bed. Yeah.
She goes in the bed and tucks the cover over. And I
Whatever.
was like...
Just to have the shot.
Just to have this shot of the dinosaur
of
just
the
coming
claw.
close to her. And the claw coming up close to her. And I like... In
Yeah,
Aliens,
dumb.
they do this better. In Aliens, the little girl hide underneath the table, Jared. She was smarter than this little girl was.
Yeah, it's dumb.
What
Yeah.
was that? What,
I
what?
don't. All I'm thinking, I just kind of write off this movie. It's
And-
total
and-
nonsense.
By the way, once again, conveniently, before she gets eaten, and she'll like, and screaming and stuff, also convenient, Mr. Chris Pratt comes, just the right moment to save the day. So how you know she was inside there? How you know? Apart from the screaming, but how you know
Yeah,
to
that's
come in
dumb.
at just that right time? Like, to be there at just that right time to save her. I like... Nah, man. But...
Nah,
guys,
that's a mess.
last thoughts on the show before we get to rate it. But anything else you have to say about the show before we...
Not really, because like it's just a script that was like, wait, them real half-assed this. Them totally half-assed this. A lot of it doesn't work. Not cute. It's not funny. It stopped being clever like a long time from. Again, it had decent ideas as you mentioned, but it's like I didn't care if these things so damn incoherent, so it don't matter.
Yeah. Oh, and how can I forget, man? How can I forget the jaw-dropping the ending of this show, boy?
But the ending
Now,
is
we don't-
total nonsense with the
Wow. First off,
Yeah, basically it's Jurassic World.
Yeah, y'all had to bring back Jeff Goldblum to more or less bookend the end of the movie. So
Just to say that.
Yes, so we have him back in Congress. Same scene, eh? So it kind
Yeah.
of extended the whole scene with him, right? But they just have him there to just do this narration pretty much, right? I just more or less reiterated the same thing that we saw before, where it's like, yes, this is wrong, we should let them die. And all through the show is just people just making bad decisions to the point that, yes, these dinosaurs are on the loose now because this idiot, we're not going to say who, decides, yes, because they must live, because they're dinosaurs and they must live. But anyway, right?
Mhm.
So the dinosaurs are out in the world now, and you have this montage
Yeah.
of them just doing stuff, right? And I was telling myself, like, they just take a page from the Planet of the Apes book, though.
Right. Right.
Like from
That
the
bullshit,
way
yeah.
how it edit, like just the creatures out there. This is Planet of the Apes again, and then they just
Yeah.
had to hammer the note home by saying, "Welcome to Jurassic World," and I just bawled out, really.
Yeah.
That's how all y'all gonna end this show. That's the last
Yeah, that
words
mess.
y'all wanna end this movie off with. So haha, it's not the park anymore. They're out of the world. So ha, Jurassic World, get it? Haha. I was like,
Yeah, it was
God,
that mess, yeah.
my God.
I couldn't I really couldn't get myself to give a shit.
And here's the problem. Here's the thing, right? Now, once again, Colin, what's his face, was saying that he wrote it that way because he once again, he wants to leave the park. He wants to leave the park element out of it.
Which
He
I don't
wants,
mind.
yeah, which I don't mind. And he wants to expand on this world, try new things. So it's like, yes, this is a legitimate setup for part 3, for a new trilogy, basically.
Right.
But God, this like the sloppiest way y'all could have put it out to.
Yeah,
Just
right.
sloppy in the execution, and just the final, just the ending of it was just. So overall, what we had to say, well, all I had to say is that, just thinking about the fact that the first movie came out 25 years ago, 25 years ago, masterpiece
Yeah.
of summer blockbuster sci-fi, adventure stuff, right? And just the quality just dipped by dip.
Yeah, you know.
There was an opportunity with
This
Jurassic World. Don't
this
get me wrong, there was an opportunity there, but it just
Yeah.
played on the nostalgia bit too much, and then because it was just too B movie for me
But
to care about it,
exactly.
it
But
was
this
disposable.
I'll straight up say that this to me this is gen like Transformers now, where you have a bunch of people who just involved, they know you can make money, but they don't give a shit about it creatively. And you ain't gonna get anything better going forward at all. Like at no point.
Yeah,
Like you gotta scrap that whole premise,
yeah.
then build from that. And
But
you know, the
just
sad part is that
stop altogether. We don't need more
yeah,
of
but
these movies.
what frustrating in my opinion is that you don't need the thing is Universal don't have any kind of monopoly on dinosaurs. So that's what kind of weird about this. It's like, wait, you don't need to do this. Other people could do dinosaurs, right?
Yeah,
It,
yeah.
I don't think you have any monopoly on dinosaurs. So why doesn't more people don't do dinosaurs instead of fucking it up with this franchise?
I don't know. I
Like,
don't know.
dinosaurs on screen is cool. Why? How are you fucking up dinosaurs on screen?
Like,
Stop
I don't know.
blowing
Do
it.
a Turok game or movie or something.
No, what cracking me up is that the way how the whole thing set up is that we can't get anybody remember Primal Rage? Basically, we can't get Primal Rage thing. It's like, well, what's going on with this? The whole world go and melt down because these dinosaurs are wrong now.
Yeah.
Or the dinosaurs not going to survive because like their animals too big and nothing can feed them. You kind of need a park for them to exist.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah. But yeah, just last things I'll say. From the marketing of it, I should have picked up on it. Picked up on something wrong going on here. From you selling out your major set piece in the first trailer, right? To the point
Yeah.
that when you see it on big screen, it's like, yeah, I see this already. There's nothing new here. And then when you see it as well, because I know people will go in and be disappointed or actually be surprised by the fact that you see it in the first act, right? And then with the second trailer,
Yeah.
pretty much spoiling everything else after that. It's just like, it's just so painfully apparent they don't know what to do with this franchise. Or maybe they know what it is
Yeah.
they want to do, but just execution, that's the problem. So, it's
Yeah, it was a
unfortunate.
mess.
This series is just like, like Alien or Terminator or whatnot. But here's the problem. At least Alien and Terminator had a superior sequel. They had a superior movie apart from the first movie, But Jurassic Park just for some reason hasn't gotten that. I mean, Lost World tried, didn't work, but I still defend it. 3 failed. Jurassic World just tried to do something totally different, and it was schlocky, but whatever. It was some fun, and it kind of was like a step in the right direction, but there was no need to have a sequel to this. Oh, I just had to mention one last thing though. The intro to this movie, Dred, should have been a red flag there. Yo, the park has been inactive for 3 years, Dred. Dinosaurs are still on the loose, Dred. So why are you gonna have this crack mission to go down into the water to acquire what a tooth? So
Yeah.
what, they couldn't do
Stupid.
some research and be like, oh, well, remember there was this dinosaur that was swimming about? Maybe he's still
Whatever.
alive. Who knows?
Nah, it is
But yeah, but
Whatever.
it's really sad to see this franchise like literally die like this. And You know, it's just really
Yeah.
unfortunate. Like when a movie like Rampage,
That I studying
turned
Rampage
out to
was
be
on
a
this.
better movie.
But that's the
than
point is
Fallen
that you could do
Kingdom,
other
Dread.
people could do the giant monster, giant animal thing.
Yeah, like a movie
You don't
about
need
a
you don't need
gigantic
Jurassic Park to do.
albino ape, and I had
You know?
more fun with that than Fallen Kingdom.
Yeah.
Dread. Wow. Man.
Yeah.
But however, though, because the director was competent enough and the acting was decent enough, I didn't overall hate the show, but I was really disappointed by what we got here. So, for me, while I want to give this a 2 out of 5 so bad, because of the strengths, which is just two things basically. Because yes, the bad outweighs the good here. I will still give this a very, very light 2.5 out of 5 stars. Go see
Right.
it if you want to. If you enjoy Jurassic World, if you enjoy seeing dinosaurs on big screen, if you like to see your white shirts of the dinosaurs going grrr, whatever it is, you'll like it. But
Right.
trust me, you will walk out of this feeling like you should have gotten better, from the setup to what to the execution, to just everything about the show. Boy. I imagine you're gonna walk out of this wanting more, Chad. And that's the mere fact that we're gonna get another movie in this and have a full trilogy. I sure as hell not excited to see what happens next. But this is setup
Yeah.
alone, boy. Is like God, boy. Y'all just need to stop these movies altogether. If this next one's gonna be the last, let it be the end, and let's just move
Right.
on, right? So, what's your rating?
Yeah, I gave this a CC8, so a low one in fact. This is complete nonsense.
And that's funny
A
because that's
very,
why I
very-
went to see it actually. So
Yeah, it's a very low CC8, just like barely deserve a globe. You know, I kind of bad talking globe, but I give it a low CC8. It's a problem. Not a complete bullshit, but it's like you had so much bad with a couple good things, a couple good shots,
yeah,
a couple
and
interesting
some interesting
camera use.
ideas. Yeah,
And some decent enough ideas, but they just fuck this whole thing up. So it's like, whatever. Moving on. I don't care.
yeah. Such a
Yeah.
shame though. Such a shame. But I guess at the end of the day, that beats the original, right? So whatever.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things. What was that? When I went to see it, it's like, well, I had a good day anyway. So it was like, well, all right, moving on. But the rest of the day was pretty badass. So it was like, whatever. So I didn't really think, but it's just a letdown in general.
Yeah.
All right.